The marketplace of Capernaum was alive with sound and motion, a vibrant tapestry of life that spilled into the sun-drenched streets. The crowd pressed in from every side, their voices creating a symphony of chatter, laughter, and the occasional shout. Dust clung to the hems of flowing robes, and the scent of spices intermingled with the earthy aroma of sweat and labor. With each passing moment, the throng became denser, almost suffocating, as anticipation rippled through the masses. At the center of this chaotic scene walked Jesus, the healer, the teacher. His presence commanded attention, yet he moved with a peace that seemed to part the crowd, a divine grace that drew many to him. They reached out, eager for just a glimpse, a word, a miracle. But just behind him, nearly lost in the undulating mass of bodies, moved a woman. She was frail, her posture betrayed her weariness, and her face was drawn with the weight of suffering that no one around her could see. For 12 long years, she had endured a debilitating condition, persistent bleeding that had drained her physically, emotionally, and financially. Doctors had failed her time and again, each visit leading to disappointment and despair. Her savings had evaporated, consumed by hope for a cure that never came. She felt as if the world had turned its back on her, isolating her in her pain. And yet, despite the years of suffering, a flicker of hope still flickered in her heart, a candle fighting against the darkness. Word of Jesus' miraculous deeds had reached her ears like a gentle whisper. She had heard stories of the one who healed the blind with a touch, who raised the dead, who broke societal norms to touch the untouchable. The tales had ignited a desperate belief in her. If only she could reach him, she might be restored. If I can just touch the hem of his garment, she thought, I will be healed. The thought of being seen filled her with trepidation. She wasn't looking for recognition. She wanted only to reach him without drawing attention to her plight. Self-conscious and afraid, she fought against the rolling tide of the crowd, each step a fierce internal battle interwoven between faith and fear. With trembling hands, she wove through the bodies, careful not to bump against anyone too hard. The sounds of the crowd seemed to fade into a distant echo as her focus narrowed, driving her toward her goal. And then, she was close enough. Before she could second-guess herself, she reached out and touched him, just the edge of his robe. It was a fleeting, simple act, but in that moment, something extraordinary happened. Her heart raced, and a surge of warmth washed over her. She felt it, something in her body had shifted. It was an overwhelming sense of wholeness, as if a weight had been lifted off her soul. She was healed. It was instantaneous, as if light had burst forth in the darkness of her existence. But then, in the midst of the noisy crowd, everything changed. Jesus stopped. The movement of the throng stilled, as if the world itself paused in recognition of a holy moment. His disciples froze, glancing at one another in bewilderment. "Who touched me?" he asked, his voice calm yet authoritative, filled with a keen awareness that transcended the chaos around them. The disciples looked at him, puzzled by the question, their gazes shifting around them. "Master, the crowd is pressing in all around you." "It could have been anyone," they replied, trying to make sense of the inquiry. Their confusion mirrored the sentiments of those around them, who continued to jockey for position, eager to see what Jesus might do next. Yet Jesus knew, it was not mere contact that had stirred him. "I felt power go out from me," he asserted, his tone leaving no room for doubt. There was a profound understanding in his words, a recognition that a significant exchange had taken place in that one quiet touch. The woman, now healed, felt the weight of the moment crash over her like a tidal wave. In a world where she had been so accustomed to hiding in the shadows, she realized there was no escaping it now. She could no longer conceal her miracle. She trembled with a mix of fear and exhilaration. Stepping forward, she surrendered herself to the gaze of the healer. In that moment, every eye turned toward her, and she felt exposed, but she had to share her story. With voice shaking yet resolute, she recounted everything: the sickness that had plagued her for years, the isolation she had endured, the hopelessness that threatened to engulf her, and the flicker of faith that had inspired her touch. Jesus listened with unwavering kindness in his eyes, compassion reflecting in his expression. When she finished, he spoke words that would echo in her soul forever. "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your affliction." He did not admonish her for her boldness or ridicule her for being part of the crowd. Instead, he dignified her, calling her daughter. In that moment, she was no longer defined by her suffering or her ailment. She was given an identity, beloved and cherished, not merely a nameless woman with an issue of blood, but a daughter in the kingdom. She had come seeking healing but found something infinitely greater: love, identity, and peace. Those simple words reverberated within her spirit, filling the void left by years of heartache. The Lord had not only restored her health, but also her sense of belonging and worth. As she made her way back through the crowd, a smile spread across her lips, her heart overflowing with joy and gratitude. From that day forward, her story became part of the tapestry of faith woven into the fabric of those who heard the tale. She was a living reminder that even the smallest act of faith, carried out with earnest belief, can move the heart of God. Her miraculous healing rippled through the community, inspiring others to venture forth with their own burdens and plead for mercy and grace. As she shared her experience, of pain turned into purpose, of darkness transformed into light, more hearts were ignited with the realization that desperation could turn into hope and that faith, no matter how small, could lead to profound changes. Her encounter with Jesus did not just heal her body, it empowered her spirit. She walked with a new authority, bringing her story into every corner of her life, dispelling shadows with the light of her testimony. She became an advocate for the hurting, encouraging others who were lost in their own struggles to take that leap of faith, reminding them that Jesus sees the unseen, he hears the unheard, and he heals the broken. And so, the tales of that day on the streets of Capernaum spread, recounting a moment of divine intersection. In a crowd filled with noise and chaos, where many clamored for attention, one woman reached out in faith and found healing. Though she was once defined by her suffering, she became known for her faith, a testament to the power of God's love and the hope that is found in His presence. Her story, the tale of the woman with the issue of blood, would be told for generations to come, a beacon of light for those navigating darkness, a reminder that in the heart of every believer lies the potential for miraculous change. All it takes is faith, no matter how fragile, to touch the hem of His garment and to be transformed forever.